Hey, also the challenge ring. Let's have a look. I had a consultation with this client, so I got a bit of a head start on it. What I do with all my files is I create a notes window. You just type notes on the command line. It'll bring up a little window that you can save your notes with the file. And I always do a picture frame. Now, note on this: when you do a picture frame from inside Matrix, you need to actually navigate to your projects folder, into the folder that was created for that client. So you've created a client over here, navigate to that folder, drag and drop your image into that folder, and then picture frame from there. Because if you picture frame from your desktop or somewhere where you're temporarily holding the image, and you come back down the track maybe a year later, and you've maybe deleted folders from your desktop, you'll open this up and that'll just be a grey picture and won't have any meaning to you anymore. So always remember to save your images into the actual project folder and then picture frame them into your job. Okay, so some notes about the job. We have an emerald cut center, which, like I said, I've had a consultation with this client, and these are the dimensions for the stone. I used the Matrix Custom Gem Builder because it has a slightly longer edge facet over there. All right. The client has two 1.35mm round brilliant cut pinks. Anybody that knows anything about pink diamonds knows that they're not round. And anyway, I'm not going to carry on about those. We have a finger size at J. Okay, the entire job is all 18 white. I've recommended to the client that because these stones are a little bit small, well, not that they're small, they're very precious stones, pink diamonds, but for the design in comparison to the center stone, the percentage of it is small. And then also in this consultation, the client has advised that his client wants to be able to wear wedding ring flush, okay, which means that the slope inwards from this big stone to the small stone is too severe. You'd have to bring in the stone, the collet, so fast that it would look peculiar. So what I've recommended to the client is that we put a thin rose gold bezel around the pink, which will serve two purposes. One, it'll make the pink stone look bigger. We do a thing called, in our firm we call it Swiss setting. Essentially what it is just a flat bezel cut at a 45-degree downwards, very, very shiny bright angle. The stone gets seated, and we just, under a microscope, you lift four tiny little beads over the stone, okay, like slivers really, just to stop it from coming out and rocking. And what the effect of that is the light coming in, bouncing off the pink and the pink gold, makes the stone look bigger and everything looks bright. The rest of this is just my quote to the client. That doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm doing this live, unscripted. You're seeing this ring for the first time, same as me. I'm going to try avoid using Tsplines or anything that I normally use. What I do, and I think a lot of CAD people do once they get to a certain level, is every now and then they make a job difficult intentionally for themselves because they're sick and tired. It gets a bit tedious. It's all the same thing all the time. So I'm going to try maybe a different method of drawing this ring today. Essentially, the normal method for this would be 4-claw center for this, which is just a middle click in Matrix, middle click and a tube for that. Maybe smart flow a swept curl around it and put a shank on. Like I said, that would be the normal method, and this would be a 5 to 10 minute job. All right. I'm going to try something a little bit different maybe. So let's get going. I'm gonna maybe try this old school style. So I'm going to go inside here, and I'm going to create a curve. What am I going to make? They've got sort of rounded claws, so I'm going to stick with round and put it from that midpoint and create a nice round claw, same size as the facet. Okay, let's turn on the edit points for that, and let's bring those edit points in. Let go of view. Let's bring those in. Hold down the Alt key so they're not sticky, and pop them around about there. It looks a bit skewy over there, so I'm just going to bring that in a bit and bring that over a bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do, yeah, I'm happy with that. Alright, so I'm going to just move that to there and just rotate it straight to the corner. Now, can I give you some advice? If you're a newer CAD user, the older guys already know When I say the older guys, I don't mean you old fellas with the grey hair. I mean the guys that have been doing this for longer than a few years would realise that being pedantic at this level is pointless, because by the time you've got to cast, clean up, do all the stuff, it becomes a nightmare to actually make. So I'm going to pop that guy down over there. Let me just show you quickly the matrix way of doing this. Highlight the stone, middle click, and go head builder. Wrong one. Let's go middle click, head builder, head builder, head builder, head builder. Alright, so head builder will pop out. Let me zoom back. We'll pop out that guy for you, and you can bring in your tools. Let's have a look at the styles. Let's see if there's anything in there that's useful to me. I'm going to start with that, and I might change the under rails. I'm going to go to the second level of it, and I want to work just on the rails, and I want to let's come in here. I want to make them a little bit heavier, yeah, and I want to change the profile of them to that sort of a profile, so you can see what's happening inside there. And essentially you just pull it down here, maybe bring it in. I always find that good design is if you're starting from the top of your prong, if you draw a line straight to F4, that gives you a good shape on your ring, quite a pleasing line, but this will vary from workshop to workshop. So this is pretty much the matrix way of doing this. Let's create the prong that I was going to work with, something probably like, I don't know, like that. And let's go to prong level and just get it the right size for our, oh, you know what, that was so easy. I might just stick to that. I'm not in the mood to do a lot of work today. Let's pick that rail up, offset, let's pick her up. Okay, now we need to bear in mind that what's happening here is we also got this stone, and we need to keep a straight line from the bottom of the ring. If you follow my mouse, from the bottom of the ring to the top, we've got a fairly narrow band underneath, and we have to try and fit something around the stone and get it so that it all works with the band. I don't want to rotate this in anymore, because what happens is it's not really bringing in a hell of a lot there. Actually, that'll probably do fine for me. Okay, so the next step in this, I'm just going to hit enter and say that this is what I want. Now remember, of course, that if you're going to render this job, for rendering purposes, you'd bring that height right down to around about there, and maybe cage edit it in for a render. Okay. What I might do is I'm going to go to where is his job. I might create a render and a production model at the same time. There we go. So I might just press enter at this point, so that I've got that head still. Grab all of that and just stick it in the job bag. I'm going to use pull to ring rail later to sort this out, but before I do any of that, is I want to let's show you that. I want to just bring this in to, I'm guesstimating I'm going to have like a 1/2 mil bezel there, 1/2 to 3/4 of a mil there. So I'm trying to bring this in to this line here. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to cage edit it with the bounding box. Enter, 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 and I'm going to scale 1D. Find somewhere the center point, maybe under the stone. Hold Shift, click, pull it in. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm pulling it in only in the one direction, because I like the slope in the other direction, but I want to come in just this direction. I'm going to do that again a little bit. Okay, I think that by the time I've got my bezel around, that might be enough. I'm going to pull it in just a tad more. Okay, I can always bring it back out. Okay, and I like that sort of slope I'm getting over there. Alright. Escape, let's delete that. Then in my side view, time to pull it down. So I'm going to ungroup this. I'm going to select those guys there, because I want this rail to stay straight. Alright, so I'm going to select the rest of it. I'm going to go to the setting menu. I'm going to go pull to ring rail. And what that's going to do, it just pulls it down nicely there for me without affecting the top one. Let's put that in a rendered view. Okay. So we're looking alright over there. That side view, those prongs are looking a bit wonky. It's okay, we're going to have a shank up against them. Alright, am I happy with that? Not really. Let's have a look at my input image. That's quite round. Okay, anyway, I'm going to leave it like that for now. Then the next thing we need to do is put a bezel around this guy. Alright, so I'm going to, now I've discussed this with the client and we've looked at different rings on the finger, so these heights over here are proportionate, what I would call proportionate. Different designers might have a different idea on those proportions. So I'm going to middle click this and I'm going to create a bezel. I'm going to bring that bezel up there and I'm going to take away all of that dome height and get rid of all the chamfer, and I want to get rid of the bezel chamfer too. Whoops, can't do that. Okay, so let's bring that right out. Can I do that? Yeah. So what I want to do with this is we need to create a downslope into there. We don't have the ability to do that currently. Let's try actually. I think we might have a way to do it if we bring the seat height, seat depth to there. Yeah, okay, not really going to work for me. Alright, I'm going to leave it like that, and I need to bring in the width of this a little bit lower. Now what's going to happen when I make this is this won't be made in CAD. Alright, so whoops, width. Yeah, this part of it's going to be made by hand, a little rose tube and laid in. Alright, so just for rendering purposes though, I'm going to need to chamfer that edge over there. So I'm going to chamfer edge. I'm going to grab, so 0.3, just grab that edge. Okay, and then I'm going to put that on rose gold. So matrix, click your little jibby jobbies over there. No material, no material, no material. Ah, right, that's because I've opened this from somewhere else. Platinum, I don't have rose in there. Alright, anyway, I'll sort that out later. I'm going to put that from now, I'm going to just put it on yellow gold layer. For render purposes, we're going to not put anything here, but in reality, when this gets set, it gets prepared pretty much like it's drawn here, and then a very, very sharp onglet graver in 3 places. One over there, one over there, one over there, will be just pushed onto the stone. We'll stop it from rocking, and you get quite a nice reflection effect from here. So this all has to be very highly polished, super polished with a felt buff. Stone gets laid in, and you lift these 3 little claws, and everything's hunky-dory. Okay, so that's on this side. I'm going to mirror that to the other side. Another note about when you mirror block instances and come to rendering, if you explode them into gems, that one will be inverted. You'd have to flip it, otherwise it's going to render as a hollow gem. Okay, so now the squirrely whirly shank. A lot of people would find this maybe the harder part to do. I don't know, it's relatively simple. If you look at the shape of this, you've got a curl coming around itself and back. Okay, so it has a bit of a bulge over there, which is normal. Which is a normal curve. It's like almost like a canthus engraving, right? Then you have a ball over there and a ball over there. Now look at the shape of this. I would say this was made in CAD, and I reckon whoever made it just did a pipe and then stretched the pipe sideways and then flowed it on there. So I'm going to try that method, have a look what it looks like. If I don't like it, I can always dump it and start again. Alright, so that goes to about, I guess, there somewhere, maybe about there. I don't want to overpower the ring, and I would say that probably these stones are a little bit high. Okay, so I'm going to dump the one. Now that I'm building it, it looks a little high to me. I think I'm going to put it about there. Okay, alright, so let's mirror that. And always remember to job bag, okay, because otherwise you can end up in all kinds of headaches. And of course, because I started ahead of time with this, the tool in Matrix to pull out the finger rail is up there. That's your finger size, okay. And your gem tools are up here, so you just click that and pull out whatever gem tools you need. I've skipped that step in the video. Now, what happened to my chamfer? Hey, what happened to my chamfer? What's going on here? Okay. Oops. I'm going to presume that's some other matrix issue. Chamfer edge 0.3, you enter. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that, explode it, and join it. And now it's no longer a matrix thing, it's a Rhino thing. Could have run the command remove history, but it's easier to just explode and join. Okay, alright, so we're back where we need it to be. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, the next thing I need to know is I need a length, and I need to know where I want my curl to stop. So I'm going to create a line from F4 and go, I sort of want that curl to stop. I don't know, I'm looking at this, I reckon that's about there somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to take that line, mirror it over the world origin, I'll take that curve and go split, alright, with these two guys. Alright, so that leaves me with this piece of curve. I'm going to dump that, I'll take that piece of curve, I'm going to go length 14.216 millimeters. So I'm going to create a line, say over here somewhere, line, click over there, shift tab to lock it, and where were we? What was that? Yeah, sorry. 14.216. So 14.216 millimeters. Alright, so now I have a flat line that pull that back up. I have a flat line that represents that curve. Alright, I'm going to move it from its midpoint to F4 and pull it straight out. Okay, I'm going to make a copy of this. Just grab those guys. Hang on a second. Let's just grab purple. C, Control V, and let's just pull that straight out. And I'm just going to use this as a sort of a judge about where I need to build my stuff to. Okay, I'm going to put that on shaded. Okay, and so I need to grab that little guy over there. I'm going to flow with history. Okay, so where we need to build now is I need to look which direction are we building in. Sorry, normally I work just in one viewport and two monitors. And I normally have this on my second monitor so that I can see what we're doing. So our curve is going in this direction and then curling around in that direction. We've got a gem and a block. Oops, we've got a gem and a block about there. Okay, so we want our curl to come around there, and something like I may have made this a little bit short. Okay, so I'm going to go insert curve, curve, insert curve. I need my curve to start. I'm guessing the gem is going to take the place of that round ball now, so I want my curve to start from about here. Come around and come in. Alright, now we're going to clean that up and just a little bit smooth. So I'm going to turn on 0 points and start deleting some of those 0 points. It's looking a bit better. I can dump that one and pull this one around. Pull that one through there. The reason I like less edit points is because when you have to get techie on it in Tsplines after the fact and you're working from a degree 3 curve, you can build a T-spline on that degree 3 curve and have less control points for controlling it. Maybe if you're using TS pipe. I may have a look at the TS pipe result on this, but let's first see how far I can get without it. This job really was made for T-splines, but like I said, I want to try avoid using that to try and keep it simple and accessible to everyone. That's not pretty. That's not pretty at all. Okay, remembering that when I pipe this, I want it to come out wide enough to meet the bottom over there. So I'm kind of thinking a pipe along that length will work for me. Okay, so let's see what we end up with. I'm going to do a variable pipe on this with a round cap. So I'm thinking probably about there. I want that end cap to be a bit fat. And then we're going to create a new point, say here, that's a fat cap over there, so I'll make this round. And then here I'm going to come in to touch over there. Let's have a look. Not the prettiest thing I've ever done in my life. So we need that to stay fatter until there. Okay, so let's redo that. Let's go pipe. I'm going to start with a fatter curve and a fatter round. Then I'm going to just bring it in over here to about there. And let's see what result that gives me. Not the best either. I'm really thinking I need to jump to T-splines for this. That curve I need to bring in more. This is yucky. This is not nice at all. Okay, so let's do that. Let's make this really big. Let's make this smaller. Okay. I'm going to scale 1D from, I don't know, let's find a center point here somewhere. Let's bring it in to hug the stone a bit better. Okay, so now what's going to happen, it looks a bit bizarre over there, but remember that it needs to still be stretched around. Okay, so I'm going to go in my side view now. I'm going to pick this up to here. And where did I put my gems? My gems are coming about there. So I need this about there. And I'm going to do a cage edit on that. And I only need 3 points in Z. Whoops. 3 points in Z. Actually, I need 2 points in Z. What I'm going to do with that, no, I want 3 points. So, cage edit, bounding box, Z point. Can't make up my mind. I hate when I can't make up my mind. I want the top of that to keep looking nice, so I'm going to grab only those points. I'm going to bring them down this far. Come on. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull them down into the finger size and then BD them off so I've got a nice flat section underneath after the fact. And then what we need to do is we need to rotate these guys from around about that point and just tilt them downwards, remembering that they're reducing down the ring. About there, 1.5 mil, 1.2 mil, something like that. Okay, let's see if that's going to work for me. Now, so what we want to do is we want to flow this new bit of geometry. Where's my curve? Where's my little curve in there? Wireframe. I'm going to go F10. And do I need to scale this inwards? I want to grab that point. Shift it out there. Okay, so U, I want to go flow from U to U. Let's have a look at what we end up with. I should have flowed that with history really. Okay, let's take that guy, let's mirror it over to see where we are. Shaded. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flow with history and I'm going to compress this part. That part I'm pretty much happy with. I'm going to compress this part in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to dump that. I'm going to create this. I'm going to turn on Rhino history and I'm going to go flow from this point onto that point. Going to put it back up there, but it's going to allow me to cage edit and see what I'm doing. So I'm going to come back in here and use the cage edit control F10, I'm going to grab all these points because we've got too much gap over there. I'm going to grab these points and just kind of pull them in that direction. Let go and let the flow update. Come on, refresh. I think it's just a squidgen more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all 4 of those points. And that needs to come at least a millimeter over, it looks like. Come on, update. Working. Whoa! That was obviously a bit much. Let's go back a bit. Although that curve looked pretty good where it was nice and round. What I might do is I'm going to go Control Z, take it back to where it was, and I'm going to move the entire thing. I'm going to move the entire lot in that direction. Come on. Okay, now I'm happy enough with that curvature that I could probably just take this and rotate it. I want to stretch out that base a little bit more, so I'm going to grab that and just pull it out in this direction a little bit. Come on, update. On my work PC this happens significantly faster. Alright, I'm happy enough with that where it is. Okay. What we need to do now is to put in the 2 little sort of pip things. Them I think we can just do with spheres and do it scale 1D would probably be alright. So I'm going to delete the constructs that I was working with. I'm happy enough with that shape, so I can dump all of this. Okay. And I'm going to pull that fella. When you get used to working with 2 screens, let me tell you something, it gets hard to work with just one. So I'm going to rotate that just into there nicely and rotate it so that it's facing kind of the right way, and just pull it in there a bit more. How are we looking? Okay, so this is going to go into the purple layer because it's going to be white, and the entire lot needs to be rotated just into the head a little bit more. Now I'm wondering if I've made that too low or if I've made my head too high. 2 mil, I think I've made that too low. Okay, so just as well I pushed into the head a little bit and into the finger curve a little bit. Okay, I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to rotate it out just a squidgen. Okay, I'm going to reiterate at this point, doing this as a T-spline would have been a lot faster. Okay, so I've achieved what I needed to. If I highlight this, you'll see that our claws are in there. If anything, I could maybe cage edit this in and give it a bit of waste. Alright, so I'm going to cage edit that in this view. And I'm going to give Z 2 points this time because I just want to taper it. Could run the taper command too, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So I'm going to scale that in just a squidgen, like so. Come on. Okay, so that's given me the straight line that I need for my shank to come up around here and give me a straight line down the shank so the wedding band will fit flush. Alright. Now we need to put the 2 little pips in. I might pipe that as a line too, so I'm going to put a line. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? I'm going to just snap onto something in here. Where can I snap? What have I got to snap onto? Nothing. What are eye snaps on? Well, the reason I can't snap onto anything because none of my eye snaps are on. There should be a quad around here. Nothing. Yeah. Quad. Come on. Quad. Okay. So I'm going to draw that straight down. Something like that. And then I'm going to just move it there. Is that what we need? Add a bit. F10. Let's grab that bottom point. Move it I want to taper it in just a squidgen, and I need to move the entire thing in again. Okay, so I might just pipe that for now, something like that, and taper the bottom in. Let's have a look at that picture again. Where's my picture frame gone? It's a bit skinnier, so let's make it a bit skinnier. Let's pipe it again. Oops. Okay, so that is too skinny. That is way too skinny. No good to man or mouse. Let's move this damn picture closer so we can have a look. Yeah, fatter. Alright. And I'm going to taper the bottom in. Alright, so I'm going to take that, let's move it into this corner nice and snug. Okay, I'm going to mirror it over F4, because this one needs to rotate around. Right to there, rotate some more to there, come down, come out. Are we happy? This one I'm going to stick in there, and I'm going to scale. Scale, object to scale, U. From that end, and let's just make it a bit bigger and pull it down into there, out a little bit. Okay, so it doesn't look like the original ring, but the original ring doesn't have a gem in there. Okay, so we're doing what we can while we can. Alright, so let's get this guy. Hello, that one. Let's just pull it down in there. And are we still inside our frame? Yep. Okay, so these two guys onto purple layer. And so we want to grab you. What I would do before you do any booleans at this point is maybe just job bag. You may want to adjust your heights down the drag. Okay, so we want to grab all of this, and we want to cut to finger rail. Come on. No, not going to work for me. Ah, that's right, sorry, because we're not joined up, so I'm going to delete that. Cut to finger rail won't work if you don't have a finger rail. Alright, so just put the finger rail back in. Same thing as just taking the curve, extruding, and doing a boolean difference. Really, it's just helping you. Okay. Come on. Alright, so we're going to grab these guys again, and we're going to do cut to finger rail. Okay, so that's cut it off nicely over there. And we can just mirror this all over to the other side now. Okay. Now all we've got to do is pop a shank on that. The shank is pretty rudimentary. I don't need a sweep 2, I can use a sweep 1, but I think I want to just come up a little bit starting from 1.7, so I might grab an outside ring rail and just sweep 2 this outside ring rail. Come on, let's pull it up to there, bring it into about 1.6 on the side there. Can I? No, it's not even that high. Go 1.6. Can I come up a little bit over here? Come up to meet that one there, and come into 1.5 at the base. Alright, so let's have a look at our profiles, what we've got going on over there. It's really kind of a flat shank with some fillets. So I'm just going to draw a line from F4 out here somewhere, probably maybe there. Let's mirror that line. And go cell curve, invert, hide. Okay, let's do a trim. And get rid of everything through there. And you. Enter, join, And let's show everything again. Alright, so I'm going to extrude that now. Both sides is on and cap is on. Alright, so I'm going to extrude it maybe a little wider than the base, because remember, look in our side view over here, I'm wanting the top about flush with where those sort of prong things are. Enter. Alright, now I'm going to use, you could use cage editor with 2 points, or you could use taper, it doesn't matter, they're all free-form displacement tools. I'm thinking that at 2mm wide over there, I don't really want to taper the shank in. This is not Michael Hill, this has got pink diamonds in, so let's, I might taper it just a squidgen, just the tiniest bit, with a sort of an upwards taper. Okay, so I'm going to taper. I'm going to taper from there. I'm going to hold my shift and my alt so I'm not snapping to anything. I'm going to taper to the top of the shank. On the command line, I'm going to click flat and infinite, and I'm going to bring it in just a squidgen up there, maybe do something like that. Alright. I'm going to go invert, invert, Control Z. Let's try this again. Invert selection, hide the rest, and I'm going to try fillet everything. Sometimes you'll find that when you try to fillet on an extrude, it's not going to work. Rhino sucks at fillets, just nothing you can do about that. Alright, so I'm going to go fillet edge, I'm going to go 0.2, and I'm going to grab the entire model and keep my fingers crossed. Yeah. See, sometimes you can get lucky. Alright, so let's put you on the purple layer and let's show everything. Alright, so that's going to be pretty much my production model for this job. Okay. I'm going to job bag, this is the production model, and then we're going to work on the render model. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in there. And now it's time to prettify it. Usually I'd spend a lot of time doing fillet edge. Most of this design is round edges anyway, so there's not too much area to have to do that. I need to finish my setting look inside here, so I'm going to see if I can snap onto that stone some spheres. I'm going to go invert and hide, and I'm going to create a sphere. Can I snap to an end? There we go. Create just the tiniest little bead over there, and I'm going to copy it from that end we snapped in there to that end there to that end there and that end there. Alright, that's just to explain to the client, of course. Let's grab those, all of that, let go of that, and show, and mirror over F4. It's just to show the client more or less what the idea of the setting is. A tiny invisible little prong just on the inside there. If you want to be pedantic about it, you could create a little, you could stretch the prong out that way and create a hollow behind it. I don't think we need to for the sake of this job. Alright, so like I said, this is the prettifying part. I don't really want to fillet that edge there because it's the sharp one. I'm going to break this a little bit. I'm going to go fillet edge 0.125, 125. Of course, you could use the mesh softening tools, which would make this easier too. Pretty much, I don't think there's too much other filleting to be done here. I only really bother doing it on the edges that you're going to see in the render. So you and you, and probably you guys. Anticipating problems here. Yeah, it didn't do that. So let's see if I run it right through. No? Okay. Space claim, I love you. Alright, so what we've got to do now, the next point in this is we've just got to make these prongs look set. So I'm going to grab those guys. I'm going to cage edit them with a bounding box. I want probably Z point, I'm going to want about probably 7 points in Z this time. I'm going to grab these guys, put them down, just to get them to about what a good setting height would actually look like. Whoa! Let's grab you. to first of all build that cage with 3 points. Hang on a second. A Z point with maybe 4 points. Okay, and let's just pull those to the right height, and then we'll rebuild them for let's go 2D from F4 and just bring the prongs onto the stone. They're looking about right. A little bit more. Okay, it's looking about right. Okay, I don't want that too close to there. Cell curve and delete. Hello. Cell curve and delete. And probably that's pretty much, that's this job done as far as I'm going to do it. We need to assign some materials to those diamonds and do a render. Okay, I like to put a prop on my renders, so I'm going to go, before I do anything else, I'm going to go into the props. I'm going to grab a hand. Those of you that have used this have noticed it's quite a butch lady, she doesn't have fingernails. Scale from F4 and just get it to fit the ring. I really should resave this. And just let's check our positioning. Ouch, that hurts. The ring went straight into a finger there. So I need to scale some more. Bring it in. I don't have to be too pedantic about getting it looking 100% right. Scale a bit more from that point. Just bring it down a bit. Okay, that probably looks more or less realistic. I never try to render skin because no matter what you do, it never looks good. Okay, I have counter sketch 2, and every time I pull that hand out, the first sort of reaction by everybody is, "Ugh, creepy." And of course, you could render this as an alpha over an existing photo of the client's hand. This particular client wants some wedding bands to go next to this. Maybe now wouldn't be a bad idea to show what the wedding bands would look like. I just noticed a fatal flaw in my drawing down here. This is not actually touching. Okay, so I'm going to go in there. I'm just going to make a mental note to go back, because if I'm milling this, it's not a problem, but if you're growing this, that is a problem. Alright, so that does need to be fixed. My bad. Okay, the rest of it is looking good enough to do a render, so let's set up our render scene. Let's use V-Ray and just slap a ground plane down. I'm going to put the ground plane on the lights. I'm going to go wireframe, so I'll just deselect everything. Okay. Then we can go from layer materials. If you've got matrix 7, layer materials will do all of this. I don't know what the rose gold layer is. Do I have one? Rose gold, metal 04. Metal 04. So I'm going to grab my green stuff, I'm going to stick it on metal 04. And I'm just going to posture the ring in a position like that. We're going to hide that surface. And try and grab a pleasing view of it. I just like to do it quickly in a low res, just to have a look at what it looks like before I do a full-blown render. Might pause this while that's happening. Okay, let's have a look. See. Okay, so I'm pretty much happy with that, except I didn't put pink diamonds in. So you and you. Now herein comes the problem. I don't think there is a pink diamond material in Matrix. Sorry, this is happening off screen. Diamond yellow, diamond champagne, diamond blue. No pink diamonds. Very, very naughty, Matrix. How can you not have pink diamonds? Wow, I work with lots of pink diamonds. Okay, I'm going to have to create my own material for that. I'm going to go tourmaline pink. and I'm going to assign it to gem layer 02. So I'm going to grab those guys and I'm going to put it gem 02. Alright, and let's do another little render of that. Right, that worked out spectacularly unwell for me. You, my friend, need to not be on gem layer 02, you need to be on gem 01. No. Need to be on gem 03. Okay, now let's try that again. Come on. Okay, and that pink is ridiculously pink. I know that her stones are not quite that pink. So what else have I got instead of tourmaline pink? That's a lighter pink. I'm not going to move to build an entire material now. Sapphire pink, topaz, mystic pink is looking pretty good. All right. Was that what I just had? Let's have a quick look. No pink diamonds. How can you not have pink diamonds? Of course, you could just go advanced and open your material library. Okay, that's looking closer to what I need anyway. Alright, for the purposes of this, it'll do. Alright, so time to do that a little bit bigger, and then a technical view. So I like to zoom that in one view. Let's do a 640 by 480. Let's do a 640 by 480 and do a render. Okay, so we save that. Come on, gee whiz, when you're recording your screen gets a bit slower. Hello, V-Ray having a bit of a hello. Let me pause while that thinks about responding.